Hi everyone, my name is Susie. I am living in Barcelona right now, and as you know, given the current situation, everything is locked down, and we are here repeating what China was doing a few weeks ago. And so since last weekend, we basically stayed at home. And I can feel the collective fear is growing and people are panicking. Well, not everyone, but in general. And because I am originally from China, before I moved to Barcelona, I lived in Shanghai for 10 years. So I've been receiving information on both sides. And I thought it would be very interesting to get some of my friends, foreign friends in Shanghai, to share their experiences in Shanghai, in China, during this whole period. Because as we all know, now China, after 2 months lockdown, now China is start to, you know, moving through this, and things are looking good. So this is May. Well, I'd like to call her May. So May, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, Susie. Thank you. My name's May. I'm originally from Canada. I express Chinese because my parents, my mom's from Hong Kong and my dad's from Guangdong. But I was born and raised in Toronto. I came to China 13 years ago with just, I really didn't have a plan. It was going to be a year. And then it was such an interesting time that 1 year has turned into 13. And there are times where I'm like, okay, this is the last year I'm going to be here. This is it. This is for sure the last time. And there's been so many times that I've threatened to leave, but there's just something that just keeps pulling me back in. Yeah.
Interesting. And how long you've been living in Shanghai?
I've lived in Shanghai for six years.
Okay. That's not a short time.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing in China? Well, I know, but for people.
Okay. Well, I teach, and I love working with children. And I also, when I teach them, there's always a secret curriculum, which is how they can be the best person that they can be. A lot of times parents don't pay for this curriculum, but this is the curriculum that I use. Having them step into their best selves, because often they don't have this opportunity at home or in their social environment or school environment. And but yeah, when they have this opportunity to like show their real selves, their authentic selves, and to express their hurt, their disappointment, their frustration, their anger, but in a really constructive way, and then be able to express how it feels to another person if their feelings have been hurt by another person, for example, then there's this opportunity to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I did that, or has an opportunity to apologize. And then that first person then can give them, there's this opportunity for redemption and forgiveness. It's a very beautiful process. So that's with children, and with adults. Yeah, I work with, it's a combination of emotional empowerment coaching, which is pulling the emotion, the negative emotion that you, and instead of trying to push it away like we normally do, it's to find the empowered message that's behind that negative feeling, and to dig into it, and also to add this internal family systems component, which is like essentially like parts work of like going in and like helping find the hurt child, and find what that hurt child needs, and to heal it.
Wow, it's so beautiful. Every single time when I hear that again, I feel it in my body. It is so needed, your type of work. Thank you for doing that. It's so needed. just in case any of you wants to be in contact with May, I'm going to put her contact below. Okay, so let's jump in, shall we?
Yes.
I prepared some little
Yes, please.
questions. I'm just going to ask you, and then feel free to share any of your real experiences, your real stories here with people. Yeah, okay? Oh, the internet isn't great, I guess. Can you hear me?
That's okay. I can totally hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So I think first question is, how is the situation right now in China compared to 2 months ago?
Night and day, totally night and day. It's 2 months ago, it was like total lockdown. It was as if everyone just turned into like a red guard or just a part of the secret police. Like everyone worked together. It didn't matter who you were. There was just like people just worked so efficiently together to make sure that you were signed in, like you were on some sort of list of like a registration list. Everyone knew what everyone else's business was, where they went to. Like everyone just knew everything. There was a lot of signing, a lot of like taking temperatures. Yeah, it was, and there were times allowed. We could leave our houses to go get food, but and food was always available. That was amazing. That nothing ever shut down. There was always access to fresh food, always. And but yeah, for anything else, everything else was closed.
Interesting. And when you said everybody was working together, you mean they are not necessarily police or from the government? They could be anyone.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it was really interesting. There was like citizens that would just citizens that would just they would just go on rotation, and I don't know who bought them, but there were these little makeshift tents that could just fit one person, and then that person would just stand vigil all night. Like it was just 24 hours, and they were stationed in front of each compound, each alley or any entrance that entered a residential area. There was always someone that was outside making sure that they were just barred for anyone unless they knew who you were, and you could or you could prove that who you were.
Okay, so they are basically doing help with the controlling, like the controlling people to go.
Yeah.
Like if you go out to check your temperature, stuff like that. I see.
Yeah. But they were just like residents, like they just volunteered their time, and it was almost like it's almost like their duty and their honor to do it.
Wow, I didn't know that. My mom didn't tell me that. Okay, and how about now? How is the situation right now?
It's still like, I mean, I don't wear a mask, so people might consider me a little bit like I haven't worn a mask. Like I will only wear a mask if I have to. If I walk into a store, and at first I wasn't, but then I realized, like other people are looking at me like I could be carrying something, and so now I wear to respect other people.
Yeah.
But I know myself that I get this only because I don't get sick. I don't remember the last time I got sick.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess you have automatically answered the second question, is what you have lived through this period of time. Maybe if you don't mind, you can share some of your personal experiences.
Well, I grew up though I grew up in Canada, I grew up with very traditional Chinese parents who really loved, my father especially loved the idea of restricting my movement. And so I really didn't feel free.
Yeah,
and so the idea of like,
triggering, right? That could be very triggering.
It's very triggering. And then so when someone's like, you cannot leave your apartment, and it wasn't even an apartment. I wasn't living in an apartment at the time. I was staying in a hostel. It's like, you cannot leave. and there was nobody there even. So it was like me running, like just in this big place all by myself. And it was, I was really confronted with a lot of my own stuff, of deep-seated things that that I knew were an issue, but I hadn't really dealt with yet, like lack, like abundance. Like I wasn't able to claim that just yet. All I could see was I don't have stuff, and now I'm restricted. And so it was like really confronting me with that.
Yeah, I believe a lot of people are confronted during this time. And if you like, I've been talking to people, and I also live with someone here, I can see the capacity that people can stay with themselves is actually pretty low. So I believe a lot of people are triggered and confronted during this time. And it's not a bad thing, because if we don't get this signal, then I think there is no hope for changing it.
Well, exactly. And that is the whole point of having negative emotions. And so that to signal to us, hey, something's wrong. Hey, something needs a little bit more attention.
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So nice. So nice.
So nice.
And yeah.
What did you want to say?
Oh, it was, so I took that because I know that's exactly what needs to be done. So anytime I felt this, and it was like, it's like, you know, that the burning of the albatross, no, the phoenix, the burning of the phoenix over and over again when you're doing shadow work. There was one night actually, and this was around the time that I needed to quit drinking, because I realized when I was drinking, the reason that I was drinking was so I could have this sense of freedom, like that. And it wasn't like I was drinking with other people. It was, I was drinking by myself in order for me to sing really loudly. Right? And I'm like, well, that's interesting. That's interesting. And but then when I stopped drinking and then I started singing, there was this part of me that was so afraid that somebody might hear me. And so there was like, I would repress some of the like, if a person could sing to a level of 10, like that was the absolute capacity in which they could sing, I was only maybe singing to like 7. I would max at 7, because there was that voice that was like, but what if someone sees me?
Yeah.
And so then right, and then because I'm so practiced at this work, like we're practiced at this work of like paying attention to any little voice that comes up, and not getting just sucked into, yeah, what if someone, so I should just shut up, or fuck that, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna stop singing because there might be someone. I stopped. Oh, okay, let's sit down and like, let's talk about this. And so I sat and just took the position of that terrified person that was scared that someone might come in and see, and then asked her, what were you afraid of? And essentially it was like, she was afraid that someone would just see and laugh or not say anything, or it was just like it was that. But as soon as I sat with it, it just disappeared.
Yes.
And then it was amazing, it just disappeared. And then I was able to sing to 10.
Wow.
And now I sing to 10 like when I'm just riding a bicycle.
Without the need of alcohol.
Without the need of alcohol. It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I quit drinking. I started again, but yeah.
Yeah. Even me myself, like today is Wednesday. We started the lockdown actually officially from Monday, but it sort of started from Sunday. I could feel myself went through this process of in denial of it. It's like, no, I'm not accepting this. I'm going out anyway, no one can tell me what to do, it's like this phase. And until like from Monday, I start to accept this. And you know what? The moment I accept this, I start to bing, 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 have interesting ideas like what I can do during this time. What are some of the meaningful things that I could do, and making this video is one of them. And I find it's really amazing. Anyway, Um,
Amazing.
because both of us really take
I love
emotions
it.
very seriously. So my next question for you would be, what are some of the emotional support you have received or needed when you were going through this period of locking down?
The emotional support that I really needed was a friend like you, someone that I could talk to regularly with an in-depth conversation that knows who I am and could hold whatever it is that I needed to say.
Mm. So
Yeah.
I know we have been doing the regular weekly calls, right? During this
Mhm.
time. Did you receive anything else other than that?
There was also there were also it's so nice because initiatives, as you were saying, everyone uh, suddenly had all this free time, and everyone to some capacity, I hope anyway, I can't actually say if everyone did, but I most certainly did something creative that was designed to share with everybody else. Some people started group meditations. Some other people did group classes that they did online for free. I wrote blogs and stuff, and yeah, there was just a lot of creation. It was really nice. And so taking part in other people's, like some people started 30-day challenges. So taking part in everybody's initiative
Mm, interesting.
was ended up starting a whole new community. Mhm.
Yeah.
A community that would never have existed had this not happened.
Yeah, I can feel actually Monday, Tuesday, I was busier than ever.
Right? I know. I've never been so busy. I don't remember the last time I've been as busy as I am right now.
Yeah, I know. That's beautiful. And because you have been through this and it's 2 months lockdown, right? So if we focus on emotional needs and emotional support, what do you think is the most important thing that you want to share with people right now who are going through this now in Europe and probably other areas of the world?
The absolute thing that we must absolutely do is take care of ourselves. Like, I
Mm,
cannot stress that enough, of like any single thing that you need. The most important thing that you must do is to take care of your happiness, of like
okay.
whatever whim. If you need to go out, go for a walk. I mean, I don't like, do something to take care of yourself. Give yourself comfort food. Give yourself like draw yourself, I don't know, whatever it is for you. You have to absolutely do that. Take care of yourself, number one, absolutely first, before
Okay.
you can even begin to even help anybody else.
Yeah. So when you say, because we are very familiar with these terms like take care of ourselves, but I think maybe for other people they don't really know what does it mean. So would you like to make it very tangible for people?
Like there are times where and I talk to people all the time about like the work that they do, and they feel like, because the people are still doing some work remotely, and then they have to do work that they might not really want to do, and then have some um, requirements that their bosses are giving them of due dates, for example, deadlines, and it doesn't fit them, and they feel like there's so much that they have to do, but so their own needs go off to the side, and aren't even really a consideration, because they feel like they have to take care of other people, their bosses or their families or whatever. During this time, like, all of us are going through a trauma. This is traumatizing for everyone, because don't have the life that we're used to having. Regardless if the life that we had, that we're used to, was a happy life or not, it's different. and different is traumatic.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so like what I've done is just totally slowed down. And anytime that I felt any anxiety, anytime, because that will come. If it hasn't already, anxiety comes in waves. And when you feel that, that's when you have to sit your ass down, sit down and breathe and just like meditate, go into that feeling. Just stay with whatever feeling that you're having and don't push anything away. Take it all in, because it will naturally change.
Yeah. Wow. That's so important. It is very important. I am taking that in myself. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because we abandon ourselves all the time, don't we, Susie?
We do. We do. And I can see, like, for a lot of us, we do it unconsciously. And that's what is very scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
It's okay. So just like now that it has to become conscious. The very first thing is being conscious,
yes,
right?
definitely.
Awareness.
And right now, in where I am, Barcelona, it is a beautiful city, very charming, and actually starting from April is supposed to be the traveling season, like the peak season will start. But now, because of the situation, everything locked down, people are canceling their trips, companies and some people are losing their jobs, shops are closing. So I can feel like the fear here, like a lot of people will lose their jobs. Some businesses might be closed forever. And I wonder how it was in China and how were people reacting to it. I don't know if you know, but just please share with us what you know.
So many people freaking out, like losing businesses that they've had, their shops that had closed down because, I mean, rent is not cheap here in Shanghai.
No.
And then, they have little shops or little shops that I just don't see them ever opening again. And that's really triggering when your whole livelihood is based on that. People just paying rent a lot, very like very expensive rent, and not knowing what's going to happen. But the people that were really holding on to this has to be the way that I did it has to be the way. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that suffer.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
okay.
The ones that have done the best are the ones that the ones that have done the best have been the ones that are like, okay, so this is what's happening. Nobody's going to be in person. So what can we do? What are our options? And the best option was online. Mm-hmm. And so everything moved to online. And if you had that sort of flexibility, then yeah, people have been doing quite well, actually.
I can see here as well. Some of them very fast. They just started to do things online. The gyms, the schools, especially schools here, like children here, they continue to be homeschooled. Every day same schedule, just online everything, and then people are working from home within the company system. With the company computer, stuff like that. But there are still people who have to go to the office every day. And right now there are police on the road. They would randomly stop you and to check if you are going to work or if you just go to buy some food. And if you have to work during this time, the company would give you a kind of paper to show that. So if you show that to the police, then you'll be fine. Otherwise, maybe, potentially, they can give you a fine.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think here, the living environment is very different from China. In China, we live in compound, and compound is like, and they are controlled, right? So they can put guards there. So if they don't want you to get out, you can't get out. But here, no, like you just go downstairs and you can go to the street. So I think they introduced this to control, just to make sure people don't just go out whenever they want,
Yeah, I found that how have they been reacting to it over in Barcelona? That kind of control of movement.
Well, I would say pretty good. So, of course,
Okay.
nobody wants to be told what to do. Nobody wants to stay home, especially in Barcelona. Like, people don't stay home here. Weather is getting warmer, is getting better. People, in general, I find people here, they like to be out. And so I can understand for people it's very challenging. It's the first time in their life. But I would say people relatively how to say accept this quite well. There were like on Facebook, I saw there were musicians playing music on the balcony, and then the neighbors were clapping and singing together. It's so beautiful. Not here though, but in Barcelona, in the city. But I think, yeah, in general, people are okay. People are accepting it. Most people are respecting the rules and doing what they think is the best for them.
Okay, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think so far we've been announced like 2 weeks lockdown, but I think it's gonna be longer, probably 3 weeks or 4 weeks at least. I think,
Yeah, at
and
least.
and
I think so too.
it's going to affect Easter here, Semana Santa, which is a very important festival here. Um, but yeah, so be it.
Yeah, it's just going to be different.
Mm,
But it's going to be different. But I challenge everybody who's going through to find how it's made your life somehow better.
that's a very good question to ask. Mm.
Hmm. And maybe not at this exact moment will you have the answer, but I hope midway through or partway through that will become apparent.
Yeah, yeah, like always see why this situation should happen rather than shouldn't happen. I find that's
Yeah,
helpful. Mm.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
another question is about the government. Um, what do you think some of the things that the Chinese government had done that is really effective? And what are some of the things that you think they've done is not so effective, like you personally don't agree with?
Mm, I don't know about the second part, and I'm reticent to say because it's not cool for me to talk about the government in a bad way. I'm just saying that it's not okay for me to do that. But without being propaganda-y, I will say I'm really astonished at how well organized this country can be when the government says, okay, this is what we're doing. And
Mm.
everyone just goes, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So whatever needs to be, whatever the government decides is in effect, it's in effect.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's no, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
What?
and nobody challenges it. No one, no one fights against it. And through this whole, actually, there's been so much support and so much love of country has grown like amongst the people. They just think, wow, China's just thinking, wow, even though this started here, they're just thinking, this is a really great place.
Mm.
How everyone came together.
Mm. Okay. And so there are the other side of it, but you don't feel safe to share here, is it?
I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, what could be the other side. I mean, they did want to keep it quiet. Like when this doctor was like, okay, this is a new thing. And then they just said, okay, like, just don't say anything. Let's just keep it quiet. The guy who ended up dying, I can't remember his name.
Oh,
The,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
who discovered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that's probably not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, I can see how they probably just didn't want mass hysteria. And that's probably why they made that decision.
Okay,
Mm,
okay.
yeah.
And how did you feel? Because I know that in China, the actions are taken is like bomb like that. It's not like here, like it's like nobody goes out to work, right? But here, like some people can still go to work, and then nothing is open, right? Except fresh food and stuff. But here, like yesterday, I went out to buy food. I can see there are bakeries that are open, and even smaller supermarkets are open as well, not just the big ones. So, and then the compound as well. Like if you want to go out, it's more strict. So I wonder, like for Chinese people, maybe they are more used to it, I guess, because we grow up that way. But like for people like you, like how did you perceive that? How did you experience that? Because it's like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable. It was really like, and especially if someone who doesn't like being controlled. It made, there were times that I felt crazy, that I was like I was losing my marbles. Yeah, I think, and if you talk to anybody, we all went through a period where we thought, I'm losing my mind.
Wow.
Briefly, at least. Yeah.
And how did you get through it?
Breathing,
Okay.
writing, just
And
being, not escaping.
do you think it's necessary though
To
have that action like that?
I'm sorry, the action of you're not allowed to go anywhere?
Yeah, like very strict. Like it's just like no negotiation. That's it.
Well, I see how it has actually helped, because it's like, because this disease is rather infectious, and so if they're trying to like stop the infection, I can see how it's just completely working in for the benefit of everyone. Maybe it's a temporary inconvenience, but it's to benefit everyone. It's to stop any sort of contact with other people that could possibly spread it.
Okay.
It's understandable.
Okay, so I know you have already given one of the most valuable suggestions or advice to people who are going through this now is to take care of yourself, is to love yourself, right?
There's so many ways to love yourself.
Yes. I wonder if you have any other
So many ways.
important things that you think that you want to give to people who are going through this now.
Something that I really felt helpful is learn something that, like, if you do a meditation and you go back into, find your 5-year-old self, say, and go back and find what's something that you really like doing. And maybe it was drawing, like something creative. Maybe it was drawing, maybe it was acting, maybe it was singing, maybe it was dancing, something like that. And while you have so much time while you're at home now, and you've got the internet, right? Go find a course, go do stuff, and share the things that you're doing. Share them with other people. Do the things that you love doing when you're a kid, and film it, document it somehow, and share it with other people, and inspire other people to do.
Okay. So again, it's tune into ourselves and find out what feels good for us at this moment to do, and then it's like express that part of us, into some tangible ways, whether it's singing, dancing, drawing, whatever, right?
Something you want to do. Yeah. I tell you, like, I've been so blessed lately to have pianos. I never played piano when I was a kid. I think I wanted to, but I don't think I wanted to sit through those lessons like my brothers and my sister sat through and hated. And so my parents never forced me to do it, so I never learned. But it's funny, I still play piano, but I just, I don't know actually what I'm playing, but it sounds okay. But I tell you, when I play, it can just totally send me into the state of utter bliss. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Of just instantly, like meditation, I can get there pretty quick now after doing it for such a long time. Not in the beginning. It's not easy in the beginning. Gosh, for a while, it's not easy. But, everything's a practice, right? But I tell you, music is like, with all that vibration, it's like, it can get you there so fast. And if you sing, like, even if you don't sing well, that's pure vibration through your whole body. It can
Yes.
just get you to some other amazing place.
Yes.
And really, like, there's so much of this time requires that we surrender. We
Oh,
surrender, and that is not easy, especially for type A personalities. And I've moved away from that a lot. But faith, I think faith and surrender very, very much go hand in hand. And before this happened, a few months before this whole coronavirus came out, I was really pulled to go to church, actually. And I think it was just so I could sing. I could sing modern Christian songs, and it was like with a gospel band. And so it's just been fun. But yeah, whatever, just be pulled to something. Allow the greater spirit to surrender, to know that you're loved and that you were cared for, and that someone's got your back, and everything is for your highest good. Believe that will happen, and just
yeah.
surrender. You don't have to have all the answers. I thought that I had to have all the answers. You don't. You don't.
You
Just be
don't.
questioning and just say, I don't know. Like, be in an honest position of, I don't know. And just wait. Just wait.
Mm.
Wait.
Mm. Wow.
And then act.
Thank you for that. I have an idea. I don't know if you feel comfortable with. Would you feel comfortable to take this camera and show us outside the window, like where you
Okay.
live?
It's a little bit twilighty. So hang on.
Because I'm really
Go
curious.
get my glasses so I can see what I'm showing you. Oh, well, I can only really see, you can only really see like the out. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna turn the.
Oh, you have a balcony. You have a balcony.
Well, no. This is just a window that goes. Hang on, I'm just gonna turn the. Okay, so here's the rooftop. Here's some yoga mats that I'm wearing at.
Okay.
Here's a rooftop where the cats live. I don't know if you can see them here. And then here's like down. I don't think you can really
Still nobody outside,
see
right?
anybody. Like, it's around dinner time. Here's somebody in their house.
Oh, okay,
Well,
okay.
there are some, but they don't usually just hang. It's around
Okay.
dinner time too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's twilight.
Oh, this is so familiar. This is Shanghai French concession area. Well, old French concession area.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Mm.
the area is so nice. I can hear birds louder than I can hear cars. And it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
rare.
That's so nice.
Someone's like laundry out.
Okay, Mei
But
Mei.
so mild. Okay, darling.
Thank you so much for this.
Nice to talk to you.
And since I don't know how to do I don't know how to do any video editing, so I'm just going to upload this whole thing. And for whoever who is watching, I know it's not perfect. The internet sometimes cut off a little bit, but this is very real, and more interesting videos with my friends in China is going to come up, and stay tuned. See you next time.